This Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Engen Primax Unleaded, Volkswagen Motorsport, and Dunlop Tires. It's the final round of the Engen Polo Cup here at Zwartkops and the final round of the National Championships for Extreme Festival. Can you believe there's only 10 points in this championship? Jeff Kruger leading things out ahead of Tasman Pepper, and it's going to be exceptionally close. But you've got Machotsi still with an outside mathematical chance if everything goes according to plan in qualifying. But that's where it's going to be decided. Qualifying is the most crucial of the year here this weekend. Let's find out what happened. Heading out onto the black stuff now. Let's see exactly what's going to go down here for qualifying. As you just heard, exceptionally crucial to get these cars into the top 6, particularly for Tasman Pepper, Jeff Kruger, and Machotsi. Those are your championship rivals. Let's see what's going to happen now as they get to the closing stages of qualifying. The times are starting to drop. They're getting some great times. It looks like Jeff might have put it on pole. We'll have to wait and see as the two Campos cars go through there just ahead of Oates. You can see the Harp Racing team looking at the clock to see if he's up there. Fantastic effort. Kruger is top. But it looks like Daniel Duminy was in the top 6, and he is 6th place, making his way up now for Super Pole. Right behind him will be Clint Besaidenote and Darren Oates in the Pie-In car. And then Jean Gerber, the only master to make it up into that top 6, which is concerning for Tasman Pepper. Delon Thompson has found some exceptional pace all weekend long, but he just wasn't quick enough to get ahead of Kruger, who puts it on pole and then goes down for the draw, and unfortunately draws 6th place for race number 2, and Delon Thompson gets his first pole for the season. He's a happy man. Jean Gerber's going to be on the front row in 2nd. That's a great effort there from the DAF Trucks driver. Where is Besaidenote? He goes 3rd. Oh, that's a great effort there from the youngster. Watch out for him in the race. Tasman Pepper was lucky enough to get into the 2nd draw, but she draws 5th. Machotsi is going to be happy with the 2nd row start there. That was really cool to get a lucky draw like that, but you didn't really have to worry because you've had great pace all weekend.
Yeah, we've consistently been in the top 3. Hopefully we can keep this going into the races and hopefully get a win.
The win is definitely on the cards. You've been pushing right from the word go and literally got to grips with this car relatively quickly, but I think it's now time.
Yeah, we've had the pace basically from the later part of the season, and hopefully from the front row, we can just take it from there.
Coming into the round with 10 points, you've done it all right now. It's now 12 points, so it's a little bit less pressure.
Yeah, a little bit less pressure, but the pressure is still there for sure. As we ever seen in Polo Cup, anything can happen in the race, especially in the first few corners. So yeah, my plan is just get my head down and try to pull a gap on the field. It's going to be very difficult. Everyone's been exceptionally quick here this weekend. It's unpredictable. That's the nature of the sport. So we're just going to have to see.
Well, as you can see, it didn't quite go according to plan for Tasman Pepper in the first qualifying. She was out of the top 6, but very lucky to get a good draw there for race number 2. However, there's now 12 points in it. That extra 2 points is certainly going to be a little bit heavier in this car. Let's find out what happens in race 1 after the break. Welcome back to coverage from our final round of the Engen Polo Cup. As you can see in the background, a little bit more pressure on the top 3. They're getting control fuel now from Engen to make sure that everybody is on a level playing field. Should be pretty interesting stuff to see what happens now, because it's also 12 points in the gap. So it's now all about Tasman Pepper trying to catch Kruger. Let's see how they line up now for race 1. Out into action and have a look at that. Jeff Kruger, Delon Thompson, the front row, Jean Gerber behind them with Darren Oates. It's Clint Besaidenote and Daniel Duminy making up the top 6. Tasman Pepper and Machotsi, championship rivals alongside each other. Darren Winterberg just ahead of Jason Campos. Keegan Campos a bit further down than what he'd like, ahead of Justin Oates. It's Paulus Franken and Simon Need and Shivi Bassoon right at the back there with Piet Vasaki. Final row, it's Cara Hill taking on Kaminda Singh, one of our international drivers here on the Volkswagen Driver Exchange program. Thumbs up there from Jean. Look at that, eyes on the prize there for Delon Thompson as the lights are about to go out here for race 1. This is the second last time we're going to see these cars in action as they head down towards Compendium Insurance Corner. It's side-by-side action, but it's Kruger who just gets the advantage through first turn and heads into turn 2 ahead of Jean Gerber. Gerber on his tail, coming up behind, it's Clint Besaidenote. Besaidenote applying the pressure there onto Thompson. Thompson's got some pressure of his own there on the back end from Darren Oates. And the Pie-In car looking good. We go on board here with Besaidenote. He tucks in behind Delon Thompson. That's a man who's found some special pace here this weekend in that MF Auto Body and Lee Thompson racing machine. The Glyco car on his tail. He's being hounded there by two youngsters, Darren Oates and Double D, Daniel Dermody. His brother Justin a bit further back there in the Intercept IP car, just behind Jason Campos. So a little bit of in-house fights there between the Campos boys and the Oates brothers as well to see who's going to be the best of the families. Kruger right now is the best of the entire field. And he hangs on only just, wow, there's a big move on the inside there from Machotsi as he dives through and gets past Tasman Pepper. Oh, that's a big concern there for Taz. The Electric Life and Pepper Racing Plastomark Polo in some trouble here with her championship rival just getting ahead of her. Down onto the braking markers to complete lap number 1. And Daniel Dermody trying to follow through there on the Pioneer car of Oates. But it's Kruger out front. He's probably going to try and use, as he said in his interview, as many push-to-passes as possible to get through. He'll keep a couple in hand just in case. But those push-to-passes are definitely going to come into play right now to try and open up a little bit of a margin over this big field of cars. Someone running wide in the background, they're just putting a wheel on the dirt. You can see it's not going to be an easy day here in the saddle. In fact, 3 cars off the sideline. Oh, it got real. I think it was Campos who was involved there, and Piet Vasaki just had to take evasive action to try and avoid Jason Campos going off track. They get back on track now. Might have been a little bit of a touch there, I think, between Darren Winterboer and Campos. Let's wait and see. A bit further back there, that's the Masters battle. And it's the battle for about 3rd and 4th place in the Masters right now, as Tasman Pepper is in 2nd, but too far down to have any influence. First of all, on Jean Gabou, who we're on board with here in Masters, but more importantly, on that car just ahead, the Universal Healthcare car of Jeff Kruger. Kruger takes this win. It's basically the championship done. It was Campos. So Jay having some problems of his own there, and having to pull to the sideline. You can see a bit of damage on that car. Let's have a look and see what it looked like. Darren Winterboer goes in. He gets a tap from behind. I think that came out of Jay. And Jason Campos, unfortunately, had ended up on the sideline. A big thump on the outside there. As you can see, Winterboer getting into big trouble there into turn 2. Looks like it was Jason who turned him round. And then eventually just got slammed in the side. And it was, yeah, there we go, Jason Campos twice trying to avoid that car that spun out. First one was tapping the side of the ANG machine all the way from Bulawayo. And here you can see from Justin Oates' point of view as the Intercept IP man goes inside and gives his Motorsport Fanatics fans a big run as he avoids that action. Great replay there. Jeff Kruger starting to open up a small margin there on Jean Gabou. It doesn't look like there's an answer from Clinton Mercedes on the pace of Delon Thompson. And Darren Oates trying to stay there with the man in 4th place. Just behind that, Daniel Dermody remains. The top 6 basically haven't changed. There's been hardly any maneuvers in those top 6. And literally as they finished up for qualifying is as they're on track right now. But here comes Pepper. Pepper means business now, diving on the inside of Machotsi and trying to make up that 12-point deficit on Jeff Kruger. But with the amount of work she's got to do, it doesn't look like there's going to be any problems here for Pepper. Oh, speaking of problems for Pepper, it's Machotsi all over the back of her. These two are fighting for 2nd place in this championship. Machotsi's not out of it yet. Still a mathematical chance there. There's no chance when you throw Justin Oates into the mix as well. Intercept IP looking to intercept in between, and oh, there's a bit of damage there on Oates' car as well, and he gives Machotsi a tap. Oh, it's great stuff. The two youngsters going at it here properly, just ahead of our Masters champion. Tasman Pepper late on the brakes, down into the final turn. Trying to fend off the attack there from Machotsi in the Volkswagen Polo, and right on his tail, the Intercept IP car. Look at that. Just behind that, it's Simon Need. Can you believe that? Need is up into 3rd place in the Masters. Having a much better season now, particularly the latter part of this 2018 season for Simon Need, the man all the way from Mauritius. Further up the road, the man from Belito is having some problems of his own. Doesn't look like Daniel Dermody in his swan song event. This is the last time we're going to see Daniel Dermody in a Polo. And it looks like he's after to settle for 6th place as he comes out of turn 3. Doesn't have the pace of the 2 signature cars in front of him. Diving on the inside, it was Darren Oates looking through. Can't find a way past just yet. But very close between the two of them as they head through turn 4. Let's see if Oates can find a way up the road. Big pity we don't have Elton Bow out there. He had a problem with his car yesterday. So the 3rd of those signature motorsport cars, unfortunately not there. Kruger from Gabou, from Thompson. Then the 3-way battle for 4th place. Led out by Mercedes in that Glyco car. And Darren Oates right on his tail. His stablemate hassling the man in front. Daniel Dermody waiting to pounce if something goes wrong, that's for sure. He'll come down onto the braking markers into G&H Transport Corner and try and get a little bit later on the brakes than his 2 rivals in front. Tasman Pepper trying to close down that gap that Daniel Dermody's got on her. She's pulled a small margin now over Machotsi. And only because Machotsi's having to fend off the attack coming from Justin Oates, just on his tail. So we're coming into the 2nd half of this first race, and really, it's just opened up a little bit here. Unfortunately, the rivalries in this championship are not close enough. And it looks like Jeff Kruger has done it all right. Let's see if we can keep it all together. Pulling in the pit lane there, unfortunately, looks like Keegan Campos also with some issues. So both of the Campos cars out of race 1. Ooh, Simon Need with a bit of understeer. That's proper. He gets it back on track. Fortunately, only loses 1 position by the looks of it. Yes, just loses out there. But we're coming to the closing stages now as Kruger heads up the hill for the last time. Kruger just keeping a decent enough gap to keep Jean Cabba behind him. Cabba, though, has got his own work to do. It's not over yet between him and Delon Thompson. Thompson looking to dive on the inside, but I think Jean Cabba will just shut the door and not let the youngster through. It's a great drive here from Delon Thompson, and they certainly found some late race pace here in the Evolution and MF auto body machine. I think Lee Thompson will probably be tinkering a little bit to get that car a bit quicker, because remember, he starts on pole for race number 2, but he's going to have to settle for 3rd place here in race 1. Jeff Kruger is going to come across the line, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 2018's Engen Polo Cup Championship done and dusted. The Universal and CompCare machine has taken it, and Jeff Kruger takes another victory and the championship in the Engen Polo Cup. It's been a phenomenal season for this young man, and he definitely is well worth all the victories that he's taken and this championship. Congratulations going out there to race 1 winner and the new champion in the Universal Healthcare car, beating Jean Cabba in the DAF Trucks machine, Delon Thompson in 3rd, Poseidon Oates and Dermany your top 6. Championship in the bag, you must be over the moon, brother.
Yeah, Greg, no, I can't complain. I didn't predict this at all coming into this round. I thought it will go down to the last lap of the last race, but no, I'm glad to have started up now in the first race. It means we can just go into the last race and enjoy it, not have to stress. It's been a long year, ups and downs as you've seen, but now I'm happy. Big thank you to the team and my dad. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here, so all credit to them. So well done, guys.
The job's not done. You can do heat number 2 now with all the pressure off and have some fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now we can actually enjoy the race and concentrate. But we were looking to do the double. Very tough from 6th place. Hopefully we'll get some rain later, but let's see. It's going to be a busy day. I also have 2 Lotus races to compete in, so it's going to be a busy one.
As always, fantastic to have an international driver on the last event. It's a bit of the driver exchange program. How was it out there?
It was crazy out there. The first time out for me and in anywhere apart from India. So, I mean, I really struggled with the pace. But I think every session I was improving. And in the race, I really improved a lot because I was able to follow the fast cars as well. And I started 17 and I finished 10th. So it's not bad for my very first race internationally. And yeah, looking forward to the next race.
Take us through where you've come from and what happens in India. What's the championship like there? Is it just as exciting and probably as competitive as this one?
Being very honest to you, no, not really. In India, I think when I won the championship, there are only like about 5 to 6 cars which are like in the top, like half a second maybe. Over here, you know, I was about a second off and I was last. So you know that's how the difference is. It took me a step back, but I guess you know that's how racing is outside in India. India is still yet to grow as a sport in motorsport, but I'm sure you know. Drivers like us, we need more of international exposure. I think we'll do really well outside.
So that's it, race 1 done, championship done. So there's no pressure now for race number 2. But that doesn't mean we're going to be exciting racing here at Zwartkops. Let's go find out what happens after the break. With the rain about to make its way to Zwartkops and big crowds still in effect, is the Engen Polo Cup. 2nd race of the day, going to be wet or dry, we'll have to wait and see. Great to see some support there for Breast Cancer Month, and also looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now in the fight for 2nd place in this championship, because the championship is now done. Kruger's got it. Let's see who's going to take 2nd. Probably not going to be Cara Hill, but she has had a massive improvement all season long, and Machotsi trying to hide away from the competition as we get ready to go now for race number 2. Making their way out onto the grid, Delon Thompson will be on pole position. That's a great opportunity for him to possibly seal his first race victory here in the Engen Polo Cup. Remember, with the final round now, it's all important to get that last race victory so you go into the next season with that little edge over your rivals. Jean Cabba will be looking to do that as well as he bows out as last year's Masters champion, and that number 1 plate, of course, will be going to Tasman Pepper, who will be fighting for 2nd place in the overall with Machotsi. He has to beat Tasman and hope something goes wrong with her car. Highly unlikely now. With the last round and the last race of the season, lights going out. We go on board with Clint Poseidon. He's got a good start. Not such a great start there from Delon Thompson. He loses out to Poseidon. Jean Cabba gets the drop in the DAF Trucks car and heads down into turn 2 in the lead. He hole shots. Machotsi already applying the pressure around the outside of Thompson. Pepper's in there as well. The battle is for second. Jeff Kruger starting from 6th place. He's got some work to do, but he doesn't have to worry about it because the championship is his. As they head down now into turn 3. Sorting things out there in the mid-pack. Machotsi and Pepper fighting for second overall in the championship. Simon Need with Daniel Duminy in his last race. He's got Paulus Franken all over the back of him, and on the outside of him, it's Darren Oates. Hard braking for turn 4, just tucking in behind Machotsi. Pepper is there. There comes Kruger, and looks like Kruger's under a bit of pressure there from Campos. They head up to the top of the hill. Tasman Pepper goes defensive immediately. Not going to allow Machotsi anywhere close to the front end of her car. Machotsi's on the outside, having to go the long way around, turn 5, and now as they're going to Kenwood, double right-hander. He just slots in behind the Pepper racing machine. Tasman Pepper looking to get through on Delon Thompson just ahead of her. Thompson was the pole man, and he's the biggest loser there in that first lap, but looking to come back with that great race pace, and race pace that is certainly turned around in the latter part of the season. Germany on the inside. What a move there from Double D. I think he's forced Simon Need wide. Yes, he has. The Photonics car onto the dirty stuff, and Germany's through. So Simon Need will probably not be happy about that, but I think he's been able to get back on track. Let's have a quick squiz at turn 2. Darren Winterboer in it again. As he comes, gets tagged from behind, and he unfortunately tags the second of the Campos cars. Winterboer and the Campos is not having a good day in the cell. The two of them, or the three of them I should say, but I tell you something, that wasn't Darren Winterboer's problem at all. He got tagged from behind, had nowhere to go, and went straight into the back end of Keegan Campos. Anyway, let's see what happens now as they get back into racing. We're on board here with Darren Oates heading up the hill on the inside of Double D, and that SMD Group Polo unfortunately will not be back on the grid next year. And it looks like he's going to be demoted down, or is he? No, they're still side by side. That's the second corner. They've gone wing mirror to wing mirror. Let's make this corner 3 as they go into Kenwood. Enough room here from both drivers. It's good and respectful driving from both of them, giving each other a bit of room to play. And it's still side by side as they go into turn 8. We follow through with Machotsi as he just tries to close that gap down on Pepper. If Pepper stays there, she'll be second overall for the championship. Machotsi will have to settle for the 3rd place. And that's not a bad effort considering he only started 3 seasons ago. 2016, he was the Volkswagen Driver Search winner. He's now moved up into a championship rivalry position. And certainly, if everything goes according to plan, he may even be able to take this title next year. Campos will definitely look to change that around. Keegan and Jay have had a tough day in the saddle. Let's see if they're able to turn things around. But remember, Keegan Campos is certainly up for the running and possibly could get the Rookie of the Year with the amount of effort that he's put in. Great to see this as they come through there. Oh, man. I know it's the end of the season and I know that everything is basically sorted out, but there's still some great little action out on track, particularly one we're seeing there between Daniel Duminy and Simon Need. And in fact, just in the background, check that out. Cara Hill is fighting there with Piet Vasaki and Kominder Singh. Super to see the young lady, also one of our rookies, having a much better finish to this last part of the season. Well, it's Thompson who's found some good pace. There is Hill diving on the inside of Vasaki. Finds a way through. Piet Vasaki losing out, possibly to Kominder Singh as well, as they go through Mix FM corner. Side-by-side action. Oh, Singh's on the outside. The Engen car's on the inside. This could end up in tears. Very late braking. Piet Vasaki with a slight advantage on Kominder Singh, having spent a couple more laps around this track than Singh. Now we go on board with Darren Winterboer. Let's see if he can find a way past Kominder Singh. Remember, he was unforcefully removed off the circuit. He's back on track now, looking to dive on the inside. Singh goes defensive, but he knows, oh, great moving there from the man from Bulawayo. Yeah, Darren Winterboer certainly knew exactly where to place that car. And unfortunately, he couldn't get through. But let's see if he can now use a little push to pass. No, he's not going for push to pass. He's going to just try and drive on the inside of Singh. Gives him some room. And eventually squeezes him out. So it's Darren Winterboer now closing in on Hill. Hill just behind Vasaki. This is a fantastic battle. I know it's for 15, 16, 17, and 18th place on track, but that's exactly what happens in this very competitive Engen Polo Cup category. You've got racing right through the pack. Not only the excitement at the front and sort of just behind it, but excitement like that as well at the back end of the field. And with only a couple of laps to go to wrap the season up, the driver exchange man must be thinking to himself, I need to come back here. This is the kind of racing I like. The Manitou car there, of course, is the man we just saw run a little bit wide. Paulus Franken from the Manitou group, just putting 2 wheels on the dirt coming out of turn 5. And as they come across the line, we're heading into the last part of this 2018 season. And some great rivalries. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next year in 2019 with a couple of changes in the championship. Down on the braking markers, it is Hill under pressure. Winterboer looking for a way past. Probably a little bit more experience under the helmet there from Darren Winterboer and Singh. But Cara Hill still hanging on. Pepper's closed the gap to Thompson. Is it enough to try and get through on Delon? I'm not quite sure there's going to be enough time there. As they head to the top of the hill again, Makhotzi's lost the ground there. You can see Makhotzi's going to have to try and fend off Jason Campos and Justin Oates. But it's Johan Gerber who's done everything right, except for that. He runs a little bit wide out of turn 5, putting on the pressure on himself. Never mind accepting it from the Glyco car, Besaidnout. Clinton Besaidnout now all over the back of Johan Gerber as they're coming into the closing stages. Can you believe this action? Great stuff from the Daft Trucks, man. He's going to take the victory by the looks of things. They've got a lap to go, but I don't think Thompson or Besaidnout are going to be able to find a way past him. There's enough of a gap there for him to just have a comfortable last lap. Nice way to finish the season there for Jean. And with a new sponsor on board with Daft Trucks, I'm sure they're going to be happy to stay with him into 2019. Besaidnout, Thompson, those are two names we're going to have to watch out for in that 2019 season. Definitely with Tasman Pepper now stepping back into the Cup class with the Masters category going up a couple of ages. 30 and over is for Masters, so Tasman goes back into the Cup category for next year. Delon Thompson, Pepper and Besaidnout, I'm sure going to be fighting hard for that overall victory. The final blood of the season, though, looks like it's going to go to Jean Gerber as he heads up to the top of the hill for the last time. But further back there, oh, still great. Oh, man! Kaminda Singh comes straight across the nose there of Cara Hill. And unfortunately, yeah, she's just stuck on the sideline. Nowhere to go for the young lady. Getting a little unceremonious tap there from the man from India. But well caught. And as I said, a massive improvement in her driving throughout the season. Jean Gerber takes the flag, though. And the last blood for 2018 goes to Daft Trucks and Hub Racing. In second place, it's Besaidnout. He'll be very happy with that. Delon Thompson taking the third spot. Tasman Pepper down in 4. That'll give her second place in the championship ahead of Makhotzi. And Jason Campos, Oates and Kruger, your top 8. Championship standings. Well, we saw that after race 1, Kruger taking it. And eventually beats out Tasman Pepper and Makhotzi. Besaidnout in 4th. Campos and Delon Thompson, your top 6. So not having a full season didn't mean that you were out of it. The last laugh went to you, buddy.
Yeah, no, so awesome finish to the season for sure. I wish I could have been here to give them a better go in the Masters Championship. But work came first. But yeah, great way to end the weekend and a year for sure.
I think with Daft Trucks on board now, there's a good possibility you're going to come back and fight and maybe take the overall for next year.
Yeah, for sure. So Daft very interested in getting some exposure in the country. They've been out of it, and what a better place than to get them some exposure, get them back into the industry. And it looks like they're on board for next year. Strong next year for sure.
Well, Taz, you fought hard. Unfortunately, it was for second place though at the end. But the consolation that you have got, first lady to take a Masters Championship in Polo Cup.
Yeah, at least I'll walk away with one championship. I mean, we fought all season. We had some bad luck in the middle, and we never gave up. Came to the last race, 10 points to get the win, but I needed to win both races. Jeff did a really good job all year round. He was consistent, and that's what you got to be in Polo Cup. And so it's not over. I mean, next year we go and fight again, and this time I won't be a master.
But an incredible season, I've got to say, for the whole team as well, because you put a nice package together. It worked well. You've gelled nicely with a new car, and now with a season in the belt, could be a different story next year.
Yeah, we found pace over the year, during the year, and it seems to get better and better and better. So we know what we got to start with. We obviously got a few things to work on, especially qualifying. And yeah, next year's a new year, and we can only fight for the championship and try again.
I can't believe we're at the end of the season for the Engen Polo Cup. And once again, it's been a phenomenal season of racing. We've had highs and lows, ups and downs, and eventually a championship wrapped up, first of all by Jeff Kruger, and then by Tasman Pepper as our official Masters champion for 2018. On behalf of Volkswagen, Engen, Dunlop, and all our associate sponsors, we want to thank you for watching all this action, and we can't wait to bring you 2019. Well, one on the wall and one off it. Delon Thompson gets a little tap. Jeff Kruger takes another victory. It's going to be Makhotzi. Sideways and bang. All this Engen Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Engen Primax Unleaded, Volkswagen Motorsport, and Dunlop Tires.